Wife started cheating right after I got our finance back together, Part 3. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. A guy that seemed to either work or live in Europe and they were flirting heavily. My heart rate shot to 200 BPM and just never felt this level of just shock in my entire life. I was destroyed. They moved their chat to Snapchat cause K was dangerous when it came to Snapchat. What the fuck? Even worse, before they made the move to Snapchat, the motherfucker Facebook stranger even invited K and the kids to come see him in Europe. She showed zero resistance. And responded with "I've never fallen in love in a foreign country before." She had prefaced the conversation with how she was getting a divorce. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I took pictures and video of the conversation and blew her phone up as she was running an errand. I was ready to fucking walk. I had spent the last week or two destroying myself about what was going on with Kay and was basically pleading her to tell me what was wrong so I could fix it. I bawled my eyes out almost every day worrying she was leaving me, and now, I was ready to fucking walk. She came home and we sat down. I needed a damn good explanation. She said she was in the wrong. That she shouldn't have done that, boo-oo it, that it was really me that put her in that spot mentally to do that. That I made her feel like a single parent and I neglected her and she wanted attention so she got it somewhere else. She also thought that I resented her big time because I had to work so much. I explained that was never the case, I worked so hard because of my love for her and the kids. But, I was ready to fucking walk, but I told myself, dude, the kids. Let's hear her out. I asked if she wanted to try to fix this and asked her if she was still in love with me. She said she wants to fix it and she thinks that deep down she is still in love with me. We enroll in couples counseling immediately. Which, ironically, I found out my work took care of the first 10 visits, which I didn't know before. Felt like shit about that, but we started going. She had recently started her first job since getting pregnant, which she later told me was the exit plan she was trying to create. So she could support herself when she left me. But, what happened with the counseling was one of the happiest points of our marriage. We talked about our love languages and things we both neglected and how much she needed reaffirmation. I explained things about how I never resented her and how I always thought she was always pissed at me because of her lack of physical touch. Which is a lot of my love language. I like hugs and cuddles, and sex is cool, too. It makes me feel like a man and it most importantly, makes me feel loved. So, we started listening to one another and things were great. Counselor felt like we were one of the few couples that had this. After about 5 or 6 visits, Kay and I mutually decided that we had this and didn't need our counselor anymore. We started dating one another again. I really felt like shit that we didn't go to counseling earlier when she first mentioned it. I just didn't think it was us, I thought it was what we were up against, and I wasn't really familiar with the idea of using counseling. Also, Kay started finally taking antidepressants. The counselor warned me there may be a 2-month period of her adjusting to the meds, if they were gonna work at all. And that happened. Kay started getting very lethargic and spacey and not really as there. But, that's what I was told would happen, so I just supported her and tried to make sure every day she was heard and she was beautiful and she knew how much I loved her. I was gushing about her this whole time after our counseling. Despite this slight downhill bit from her meds, things seemed great and I kept checking in with her and she gave me reaffirmation that things were great. Then, she started going silent again. Now, she wasn't sure if she was just bisexual. She might be completely gay. She explained to me that she felt like there was something always preventing her from letting go with me. Admittedly, our sex was a little boring, but I just thought she was uptight. I enjoyed it and I thought she did, too. Figured maybe she'd ease up with time. Anyways, she didn't want to bring someone else, a girl, into the marriage and I didn't either. So, I'm like, well, 1, I support you, Kay, but what does this mean for us? Are we just best friends and I get intimacy out of obligation and not because you want to, or like, what does this mean? What are we? I started slipping back into bawling my eyes out at night and she wouldn't talk to me much. Just that she needed time to think. Eventually, after a particularly awkward day that led to me telling her in a huge message just how absolutely in love with her I am in every way in the English dictionary that I could share it, she woke me up in the morning as I was laying next to our son's crib and explained that she was sorry and that I was her person. That we are good. This led to the most amazing month of our relationship. As she started telling me all her sexual fantasies, which were mostly bondage and such. Bought toys and we started doing all kinds of stuff and it was awesome. But, it wasn't the sex that was the best part. It was her finally giving me this trust after she had shut me out for so many years, maybe cause of the past abuse in her life? We never felt closer than we did. She was also gushing about how happy she was and how happy she is with us. It felt that my wife had finally arrived. No longer was she pushing me out. She wasn't shutting down. She wasn't nitpicking everything. She wasn't finding a ton of shit to be upset about. She let me in. And it brought me so much joy just to see her smile because she was so happy. This also seemed to time up with her antidepressants kicking in, so I'm sure maybe that helped. Every day was better than the last one. She even had the idea of us consolidating our vehicles down to one vehicle, a family van. And getting road bikes so we could be that progressive minivan plus bike family. So, I said fuck yeah, and we did it. It was late October now and we were the happiest we had ever been, at least it seemed that way. Close to Halloween, we hung out with my boss at the local bar while the kids were babysat, because remember, we were finally starting to date again. My boss, L, who originally got me my job and was my closest confidant throughout the whole process and went very very far to help me and always stood up for my name at work to get that promotion. Great person. Anyways, we all hung out and I got drunk on accident and I blacked out. Kay and I almost never drank, so this happened a little easily to me. We just shot pool and hung out with my boss and he gave us a ride back to our house. I felt irritated that I got blackout drunk, cause Kay and I had this buildup of basically some type of sex celebration for her and I at the end of the night and I got drunk and screwed it up. I was always used to Kay being very apathetic towards me whenever I needed her emotionally in the past year or so. Like, if I got sick, she'd just be pissed at me because that meant I was leaving her with the kids while I was sick. I woke up the next morning and was awaiting the shaming from her but, she was in a really happy mood. Lovey-dovey and tried getting me whatever I needed and etc. Mentioned she promised to grab L some Burger King to pay him back for giving us a ride back to the house and asked if I wanted anything. Food sounded horrible to me, so I declined and she went and she wasn't gone for long. Anyways, things just felt off after that day. She seemed a little distant to me in a way. Like things were just amazing and now they were just kind of there. I knew for sure about one thing, I always had a suspicion that she would gaslight me all the time over the course of our relationship. Thing is, I was so fucking deep in my school and work hustle that I took her for her word that maybe I missed stuff and had a bad memory. But, between this and nitpicking about everything I didn't do right around the house because she had some type of ADHD with how things are supposed to sit around the house, it was so bad that one time our daughter told my mother that mommy said daddy can't do anything right. It was kind of fucked up. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story, check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.